Hey everyone, welcome to another $1,000 strap search. I've got my $1,000 in singles here and I'm about to show you what I found. But before I do, let's talk about this week's tip. Now, a lot of times we're after bigger notes. We're after notes in the $100, $200, $300 range. And we tend to forget about those lesser notes. We always tell ourselves, oh, I can pick them up anytime. Well, when is anytime? Because it's amazing how long a person can collect constantly pushing off something and just never picking it up. So maybe it's time to make the effort to start picking up all of that smaller little random stuff that we always talk about and never tend to get. A lot of times it's harder to find than you think. You just assume it's going to be an easy pickup or a cheap pickup, and that may not be the case anymore. Prices have changed, the market has grown a lot, and I had that feeling about the note that I'm going to show today. So I made sure to pick it up, and I picked up a few others that you're going to be seeing in the future as well. And I'm first and foremost wanted to pick them up before I talked about it because I know if I talk about it, there might be a little bit of a run. So I wanted to get it before everybody else was outbidding me on stuff. All right. Before we talk about that, though, let's take a look at what I found this week. There's my $1,000 in singles. What do I have? Starting off, I got a backwards birthday note, 1967, February 2nd. Not the order I would want it in, but if I found this and that was my birthday, I'd be pretty happy about it. I found some trinaries. Once again, trinaries and quads. I save them trying to match serial numbers. There is no value. I will not go on eBay to buy any of these, not even to see if I can match serial numbers, because the fun for me is trying to match the serial numbers of the notes that I found, not to go out and buy them. That going out and buy them just takes away all the fun. I'm not trying to complete this tomorrow. It's my hobby. It's what I do to have fun in my spare time. Let's see, another trinary, 1s, 4s, and 8s. This one here is 4s, 5s, and 9s, 0s, 7s, and 8s on this one, 1s, 3s, and 9s here. And then we've got quads, quad 3s again, and some stars. 2017 star note. Always check your stars. Look for the filled star error. Let's see. 2017A. That was it for stars. Here's a 2003. So this 2003A, I should say. This starts off the run of older notes. Pretty rough shape. Probably going to go away. But I pull it out just so you can see how many in 1,000 you're likely to find. 2003A. Another 2003A. 2003. 2003. 2003, 1999, 1999, rough shape, 1995, ends in a Y. Not that that's worth anything, but that's as far as they've ever gotten. Every time they run through all the digits, then they put an A. When they go through all the digits again, they change it to B, then C. They made it all the way to Y in this particular series. And I checked the back. No, it is not plate 295. 1977A. 1977 with a wedding transfer. You can see here that's not worth anything. That's just how it ended up getting printed. It's amazing to see that as dark as it is from a 1977, but this particular note, actually looking at the top, you can also see the wedding transfer here. So I'm pretty sure the note underneath it was probably heavily inked, which means this one might have been heavily inked as well. I mean, the back is fine. There's nothing wrong with it. The fact that the note is in as nice a condition as it is a nice thing, and that it's interesting to see that happened even back then. And the oldest note I found, here's a 1969B. Unfortunately, it's from Chicago. It's one of the more common ones. But I don't come across too many 69s. All right, so that's what I found this week. What do I have? Well, I pulled out one of my recent pickups. This, you can see here, is a 1935G. This is the series, the Transition series, where they finally introduced the In God We Trust motto. So you can find some notes that have it and some notes that do not. This one still does not have the In God We Trust motto. It's interesting because it's a star note, which implies they printed notes. Well, they printed the star notes so they'd have extra. Then they printed notes But it turns out you can actually find some of these that have a star. So I've told you guys in the past that I think it's an important part of a collection to have the 35G with and without the motto, but to have the stars as well. I mean, just the regular note, those are fairly cheap. You can get them for under 10 bucks. But the star notes, well, those have a little bit extra value. This particular one is graded Gem New 66 PPQ by PCGS, so it's in really good condition. Looking at the back of the note once again, it does not have the motto "In God We Trust," so it's still constitutional. You would think that this would be a ridiculously expensive note, especially in this condition. And it's not a $10 note. It's actually a little pricier in this condition. Let me stress that, in this condition. For those of you who think buying notes that are only worth $5 or $10 is below you in your collection, well, fine. Find that note graded in high grade. Now all of a sudden you've got a note that's going to have a little bit of value to it. Let me show you what I mean. Here is paper money of the United States, and we're going to look up that 1935. Where is it? There it is. Fold this over and try to get all this in here. Right on the top, 1935G. There is the star. You can see that there was 8 million total printed, and you can see right above it the $3, that's for the non-star, $5 for the star, 5 and 7, 7 and 10, 9 and 20. So and that's in a grade 40. So all this is all circulated. So for $20 you can find one of these. But if having a note worth 20 bucks doesn't toot your horn, well, look at this. When you talk about a Gem 65, that star note's 100 bucks. And this is a 66. So I would certainly say this note is worth more than $100. Yeah, that lowly little 1935G no motto note graded is a triple digit note. Now all of a sudden it's a little bit more interesting, isn't it? That's what I mean. I'm sure there's a lot of notes that come into that category that everybody thinks, oh, that's no big deal to have. Well, actually, it is. So that is something to consider in your collection, going after high-graded, low-value notes, because as easy as you think they are to pick up, they still can have some value. All right, guys, that's what I've got for you this week. If you learned anything new, go ahead and hit that like button. If you like what you see and you want to see more, please subscribe. Love reading all your comments. Guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.